On the day of my prenatal checkup, my husband abandoned me on the highway and then turned around to spend millions dramatically outbidding everyone for his childhood friend's first night. I cried, begging him not to leave. Robert coldly pushed me away. The company has an emergency. I'm sure you can handle the prenatal checkup by yourself. I was knocked down by the car door, bleeding heavily. I called him, my stomach hurt so much. It wasn't until the 99th call that he answered impatiently, "Keep making things up. Your body is perfectly fine. How could anything be wrong?" I cried and shook my head. "No, it's not." Robert hung up, disgusted. "Stop being pathetic." When I woke up again, I saw Chloe had posted on Instagram. The picture showed a man's back covered in suggestive scratch marks. Are old men really this good in bed? Robert commented below, "Still calling me an old man? Call me that again, and I'll show you again." His brother David chimed in, "Rob is still the man. 10 years of secret crush, finally slept with the woman he truly desired. That 30 million was well spent." A bitter smile touched my lips. So, she was the one Robert held dearest. A searing pain shot through my lower abdomen. I swallowed my grief and sent Robert a message. "Let's get a divorce." The next second, Robert's phone call came, and he immediately started yelling at me, "What the hell is wrong with you? Just because I didn't go to the prenatal checkup with you, you want a divorce? Are you serious?" The day he proposed to me, Robert promised me, "Eleanor, even if you get old and ugly, I will love you forever." But now, he scoffed sarcastically, "You're huge and pregnant right now. Why don't you look in the mirror and see how you're getting old? Who else would want you if you left me? You're in your 30s and still so naive. Do you think you're still a young girl? I don't have time to play your playing hard to get games." I touched my now proprietary abdomen. Just as he swept the bid for his one he held dearest's first night and was wrapped up in loving embrace with her, our child was gone. After hanging up the phone, the nurses outside the hospital room were still chatting and laughing. "Did you hear? The Chu family went bankrupt. Chloe Chu auctioned off her first night to pay off debts." So many men were fighting to bid, but Robert just shouted, dramatically outbid everyone without a second thought. He held Chloe in his arms. "He's such a man. Oh my God, Mr. Meng is so devoted. I really hope they end up together." A knot of bitterness formed in my chest. If the person they were talking about wasn't my husband, perhaps I would sincerely wish them well. Before Chloe returned, Robert was incredibly attentive to me, always warm milk ready, morning kisses. But ever since she came back, on our wedding anniversaries, she always found excuses to call Robert away. Every date night, Chloe would complain about Robert being clueless about romance while ruining our dates over and over again. She tore my dress at my birthday party and, knowing I was allergic to shrimp, sent me seafood congee which landed me in the hospital for days. At first, Robert said, "Chloe is just naive, bear with her." After I questioned him more often, Robert became impatient. "Chloe and I are just best friends, you're overthinking it." I asked unwillingly, "Just best friends?" He lost his patience, "Your mind is really dirty. But what kind of best friends sweep the bid for each other's first night and end up in bed together?" After being discharged from the hospital, I went home to find the living room a mess. Robert walked out and froze for a second when he saw me. "You're back? How was the prenatal checkup?" Without waiting for my reply, he casually informed me, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, Chloe's family went bankrupt, and her creditors are after her. She's just a young girl, I don't feel safe with her out there alone, so you'll be staying at our place for now." The young girl grinned and peeked her head from behind him, sticking out her tongue at me. "Ellie, hi there." She was wearing Robert's pajamas, and even the slippers on her feet were the matching slippers I bought for Robert. I looked at Robert sarcastically. He instinctively explained, "Chloe forgot to bring pajamas, so I just grabbed a pair for her casually." Chloe put on an innocent face. "Ellie, you don't mind, right? Bobby and I grew up together since we were little. We were so close as kids, we even shared pants." Robert scolded her, but his tone was undeniably doting. "Chloe." Chloe pounced and pinched Robert's waist. "Humph, Ellie, look at him. He has a wife now and forgets about his childhood friend." "Chloe, stop fooling around. Your sister-in-law is here. Watching them playfully tease each other, a sudden wave of nausea hit me. I rushed to the bathroom and threw up violently. There, in the trash can, I unexpectedly found 5 or 6 empty condom wrappers. It was clear how intense their night had been. I clenched my palms tightly, my eyes red-rimmed. Robert followed me and patted my back. Morning sickness again? I'll get you some sour candies. Turning around, he seemed to remember something, his expression becoming unnatural. The sour candies are gone. Can I get you something else? Robert knew my morning sickness was severe and always kept sour candies at home. How could they be gone? Chloe pointed to the trash can. Eleanor, I'm so sorry. I had a craving for candies, and Bobby gave me all the sour candies. You know I'm not like you young girls, I can devour a handful at once, she said, casting a resentful look at Robert. Bobby, really, you know Eleanor has morning sickness, and you gave me all the sour candies. Chloe stepped forward and grabbed my hand, shedding 2 tears. Eleanor, just blame me. It's all my fault for being greedy. Robert's face instantly darkened. What's wit? That attitude? They're just a few sour candies. You eat my food, wear my clothes, spend my money. What right do you have to give Chloe a look? My chest tightened. The pain from the procedure following the miscarriage came in waves, making it hard to breathe. Robert had left me, a pregnant woman, on the highway without a word of concern. Now, just because I had shaken off Chloe's hand, he was furious with me. Realizing he had spoken too harshly, Robert offered me a way out. Fine, you're pregnant, I won't blame you. Apologize to Chloe, and we'll let this go. Why should I? Why should I apologize to her for eating my sour candies? I asked unwillingly, my chest feeling heavy like wet cotton, sour and bitter. Because you're older and should know how to be flexible, unlike Chloe, who can't handle any slight. Robert, knowing I had claustrophobia, locked me in the bathroom. If you don't apologize, you'll sleep here tonight. I'll let you out when you're willing to apologize to Chloe. Chloe hesitated, but, is it okay to lock Eleanor in the bathroom? Leave her be. Pregnant older women are just petty. She needs to learn a lesson. The light in the bathroom flickered and went out. In the dark, confined space, I frantically banged on the door, begging through tears, Robert, I'm sorry. I know I was wrong. Please, let me out. But from the next room, only the sounds of their intimate entanglement could be heard. Bobby, are you really that obsessed with my body? I can't take it anymore. I spent 30 million. You have to let me have my fill, you little vixen. Ah, Bobby. The next day, when the sun was high, Robert mercifully opened the bathroom door. Did you learn your lesson? I was on the floor, my eyes red-rimmed, my hands trembling. Robert frowned. I just made you reflect in the bathroom. You look so miserable, like I've been abusing you. As a child, I was kidnapped by thugs. To extort my parents, they locked me in a dog cage and tormented me for 3 days and 3 nights. Since then, I couldn't stand being alone in small, confined spaces. When Robert found out, he held me tight. Eleanor, I swear, I will never let you go through something like this again. But now, to protect his childhood friend, he had locked me in the bathroom all night. Since you're awake, come eat breakfast. Even if you don't want to eat, don't starve the baby in your belly. I struggled to get up. On the dining table, only the cold, hard toast and eggs I disliked the most were left. I took a bite. It was cold and tough. Chloe finished her hot oatmeal/grits just then and smiled at me. Ellie, Bobby is such an amazing cook. I just casually mentioned wanting a sandwich and oatmeal/grits, and he cooked them for me himself. I'm so envious of you, getting to eat breakfast. Bobby made himself every day. You're so lucky. Robert's expression froze, his guilt showing. I'm busy signing multi-billion-dollar deals every day. I don't have time for doing domestic chores. A lump formed in my throat. For years of marriage, Robert said his hands were for signing multi-billion-dollar deals, not for chopping vegetables or washing dishes. So even when I was sick with a fever, he never stepped into the kitchen, let alone made oatmeal/grits. What I had never experienced, Chloe got effortlessly. Perhaps feeling he had gone too far last night, Robert suggested we go out for a candlelight dinner. I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk to him about the divorce. Getting into the car, I reached out and felt the pink lace pajamas. Robert's face instantly changed, but he lied without batting an eye. "A gift I got for you. Do you like it?" I looked at the suspicious stains on it and smiled. Robert quickly explained, "Chloe saw it last time and said she'd never worn anything like that, so I let her try it on first. She got some water on it." "Don't be mad." "I'm not mad." I cut him off. "Call me when we get there." He looked for a few restaurants, but none satisfied Robert. He kept frowning and checking his phone messages. It wasn't until the screen lit up with the contact "Darling Chloe" that Robert's lips curved into a pleased smile. My eyes dimmed. We had known each other for 10 years, but Robert's contact name for me was always just my full name. He said old married couple didn't need to be so mushy. But Chloe was always his exception, his preference. Finally, we sat down at a nice restaurant. Chloe suddenly appeared, pulling along a stranger. "Wow, I told Bobby this afternoon to take you out on a date to make it up to you, and Bobby, you're so quick to act. This restaurant you picked is totally my style," she said sourly. "Such a perfect husband is hard to find, Ellie. I'm so jealous of you." Poor me, I have to go on blind dates. The orange juice I had just drunk was sweet and sour, but my mouth was filled with only bitterness. Last week, I had booked a restaurant for a dinner with Robert, but he said he was too busy with work. Yet, with a single word from Chloe, he willingly dropped everything to take me out on a date. Robert hadn't paid attention to my feelings at all, his eyes fixed intently on Chloe holding the man's hand. "Who gave you permission to go on blind dates on your own? What's it to you? Who told you never have time to go shopping with me after we got married?" They argued, and Chloe threw a fit, her eyes red. "I don't need you to manage me. What are you to me? Go take care of your precious wife." Robert said fiercely, "As long as you're my best friend, I'll take care of you forever. Don't see this man again." Watching Robert's jealousy over Chloe, my heart, which had been like still water, ached again. I lost my appetite. As I walked out, a wolf dog suddenly leaped out. Chloe screamed in terror, "Bobby, save me." In that critical moment, Robert, holding a wooden stick, shielded Chloe behind him and pushed me forward. And back, unable to believe it. The wolf dog pounced on me, fiercely biting my lower leg. Intense pain shot through me. I cried out for help. But Robert covered Chloe's eyes. "Don't look. What if it scares you?" A piece of flesh was torn from my leg. Hearing his words, my face turned even paler, and I fainted. When I woke up in the hospital, the 4 drip on the back of my hand had backed up with blood. The nurse who rushed and looked anxious, "Where is your husband? You're this injured, and he's not taking good care of you?" Robert arrived late. Guiltily, "Eleanor, I'm sorry. It was an emergency. I had to protect Chloe, who was closest to me." "I'll make it up to you, Eleanor." My sharp eyes noticed one of his shirt buttons was fastened incorrectly, revealing a hickey underneath. My heart sank. In the 2 hours I was unconscious, my husband was in a hurry to get intimate with Chloe. I took out the divorce certificate I had prepared earlier. "Since you want to make it up to me, sign this." Robert didn't even look at it, signing it right away. "Buy any mansion you want." I looked at him. "Aren't you afraid I'd make you sign a divorce certificate?" Robert raised an eyebrow. "How could that be? You love me so much, you'd make me sign a divorce certificate?" My heart trembled. Just then, the hospital TV was showing the award-winning artwork from a design competition for new artists. It was my Rose Maiden, but the name listed was Chloe. This Chloe is so amazing. Even though the Chu family went bankrupt, she's a talented artist. Look, she won first place in her first competition. My mind went blank. I had kept this painting, Rose Maiden, in the storage room. It was a memorial portrait I painted for my deceased mother before she passed away. The only person who had ever seen it was Robert. At the time, he had comforted me. "Even though your mom is gone, you still have this painting with you, and you have me with you." I looked at Robert beside his face showing guilt. "Why?" My most cherished artwork was stolen, and Robert said it lightly, it's just a trophy. You have so many anyway, what's wrong with giving one to Chloe? Don't be so petty. My heart was pierced fiercely. I picked up the cup and threw it. Robert! You know how important that painting is to me. His forehead was cut, a streak of blood appeared. His face was as dark as ink. I think you're truly crazy. You jealous woman. I almost laughed through my tears. My eyes were full of tears. I grabbed my phone recklessly. I'm going to let everyone know right now that Chloe is nothing but a blatant plagiarist. Robert nervously snatched the phone from my hand and smashed it. How can you be so vicious? Chloe is only in her 20s. Do you want to ruin her life? Seeing what he did, I broke down and cried. Robert panicked and came forward to comfort me. You're already old. Isn't it good enough to just be a domestic housewife? Chloe is still young, she needs this award more than you do. Besides, without her, your painting might not have become this famous. A lump formed in my throat. Looking at the man I had shared a bed with for 3 years, I couldn't say a word. Robert gently tucked me in, then said cruelly, get some sleep. When you wake up, remember to promote Chloe. I remember you have a lot of followers on Instagram. She's new and needs traffic and hype. Help her out. How ridiculous. To ask an original artist to cheer on a plagiarist. Tears silently streamed down my face. Robert thought I was being moody. He stroked my hair. Good girl, be obedient. Tomorrow I'll arrange the most comprehensive prenatal checkup for you, okay? I'll be there with you the whole time. Okay. Stop crying. The baby in your belly will be unhappy too. He kissed the corner of my eye. Listen, fame and awards aren't important. Isn't having me love you enough? There won't be a tomorrow. And we don't have a baby anymore. I said silently. Why in my heart? At night, I booked the earliest flight, packed my bags, and left the medical report/discharge papers on the nightstand. After sending him one last message and blocking him, Robert, let's get a divorce. Robert had just picked up Chloe from the competition venue. Chloe skillfully sat in the passenger seat, looking at the special wife's seat sign with disdain. Ellie is really something, still playing the devoted wife in this day and age. For the first time, Robert disagreed slightly. Don't say that about Eleanor. She just loves me too much. Besides, your artwork was also stolen from her. Chloe pouted, looking wronged. See? I told you you'd forget about your best friend once you got a wife. You're always defending her. Robert comforted Chloe, feeling a strange unease in his heart. All right, don't be angry. If I didn't care about you, why would I sleep with you? Chloe was instantly placated and sweetly kissed Robert's face. His phone suddenly rang a few times. Robert asked Chloe to check it for him. Chloe quickly looked at the message on the phone, her lips curving with suppressed joy, and lied, it looks like a message from Ellie. Bobby, she must still be mad about me taking her painting. I'm telling you, you can't spoil women. The more you spoil them, the more they act up. Bobby, maybe don't reply to her message yet? Robert frowned slightly. He thought about what he had said to Eleanor and how intense her reaction was, feeling a little hesitant. Noticing Robert's hesitation, Chloe leaned close to his ear, her breath like orchids. Please, Bobby darling, she held up a small piece of fabric in her hand, smiling like a vixen. Bobby, this is the surprise I prepared for you tonight. The moment he saw what she held, Robert's breathing hitched, and Eleanor was completely forgotten. A night of passion. It wasn't until the sun was high the next day that Robert remembered the promise he had made to Eleanor yesterday. He had promised to take her for a comprehensive prenatal checkup today. He couldn't break his word again. Robert got up decisively. Chloe, who had woken up at some point, wrapped her arms around his waist and softly pleaded, Bobby darling, don't go, okay? His heart was in turmoil. On one hand was Eleanor at the hospital, and on the other. Robert finally pried Chloe's fingers off and told her seriously, Chloe, maybe next time. I promised to go to the prenatal checkup with Eleanor today. He left quickly, giving Chloe no chance to speak. Chloe's previously gentle expression turned to ice, her eyes flashing with malice. It was Eleanor again. But soon, she thought of the message Eleanor had sent. Chloe smiled triumphantly. She looked around Robert's bedroom. Soon, this would be her home. However, Chloe didn't expect that Robert, after losing Eleanor, would treat her with such an attitude. Speeding to the hospital, Robert rushed straight to the room, breathless. "Eleanor, I'm sorry, there was an emergency at the company, I had to go handle it." His voice trailed off as he faced the cleaning lady inside. There was no sign of Eleanor. "Ma'am, where did the patient here go?" The cleaning lady stopped her work, her loud voice like a clap of thunder in Robert's ears. "Patient? You mean the young girl who was bitten by a dog? She was discharged last night. The nurses couldn't even persuade her to stay." Robert was completely stunned. He couldn't believe Eleanor would leave the hospital without a word. And he had been worried she might be uncomfortable alone while pregnant and had come to the hospital to accompany her for the prenatal checkup. Robert clenched his fists tightly, his teeth grinding. In his memory, Eleanor had always been obedient and sensible. She would make him hangover soup when he was drunk, tie his tie for him every morning. Chloe was right. You really can't spoil women too much. The cleaning lady suddenly handed him a document. "Young man, is this your wife's? I found it on the nightstand when I was cleaning." Still fuming, Robert saw the clear words on the document and his hands began to tremble uncontrollably. "Procedure following the miscarriage?" The name filled and was Eleanor? Their child was gone. And the date of the procedure was the very day he had left Eleanor and rushed to sweep the bid for Chloe's first night. Robert's breath hitched, his voice tight. Impossible, no. How could she have had a miscarriage? During that time, Chloe's family went bankrupt, and she was being moody with him. To prove how important she was to him, she deliberately went to the auction to sell her first night. Hearing that news, he lost all reason and angrily left Eleanor on the highway. He still remembered Eleanor crying and begging him not to leave, but what had he said to her then? "Keep making things up. Your body is perfectly fine. How could anything be wrong? Stop being pathetic." Those harsh words now turned into swords, piercing his heart without missing. Robert was racked with guilt, his heart aching. His and Eleanor's child was gone because of his negligence. His eyes were red-rimmed. He grabbed the cleaning lady's arm and asked, "Did she leave anything else behind?" The cleaning lady shook her head, thinking she had encountered a madman, and quickly ran off. Robert belatedly called Eleanor, only to find she had blocked him. On WeChat, there was only her last message, "Let's get a divorce." He remembered asking Chloe to check his messages yesterday, and she had told him Eleanor was throwing a tantrum and not to comfort her. Now it seemed she had done it on purpose. Robert rushed home in a rage to demand an explanation from Chloe, but instead, he overheard a conversation that was hard to believe. "That bitch Eleanor occupied Bobby for so many years, and wasn't she driven away by me in the end? Bobby locked her in the bathroom. I knew she had claustrophobia, so I deliberately had someone pull the breaker. You should have seen how scared she was, ha 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 ha. Also, I specifically found that wolf dog to bite Eleanor. Too bad it didn't tear off Eleanor's face. But that bitch Eleanor was somewhat useful after all. I just complained to Bobby about not having a signature piece, hinted a few times, and he gave me Eleanor's artwork." Chloe, wearing a negligee, was talking on the phone, swinging her legs and laughing gleefully. When Robert heard her words, he was shaken. He never expected the usually playing innocent Chloe to be so vicious behind his back. The voice inside continued. Chloe's friend asked, "Chloe, aren't you afraid Robert will find out? Especially during the time your family went bankrupt, you were being moody with him and even slept with those rich men. If he finds out, he'll never let you off the hook." Robert suddenly looked up at Chloe, his eyes filled with rage and shock. Chloe, meanwhile, was oblivious that Robert had heard everything. She even lit a cigarette, smiling. "What's there to be afraid of? Bobby darling loves me so much. At most, I'll shed a few tears and say those people threatened and lured me, and I had no other choice but to go with them. Bobby darling will feel even more sorry for me." Robert's head buzzed, and blood rushed to his head. He kicked open the door, sneering, "Threatened and lured?" Chloe was startled and quickly hung up the phone. crying fake tears, "Bobby, you're back." "What did you hear?" "Woo-woo. Those people forced me." "Bobby, you know my family went bankrupt. I had no choice but to listen to them." Looking at Chloe clinging to him like a little bird, Robert's chest heaved violently. Did she think he was an idiot? "Chloe, you dare to lie to me? I've always treated you well, but why would you repeatedly hurt my wife?" Thinking of everything Eleanor had suffered, the look of disappointment in her eyes, Robert's heart ached as if it were being torn apart. Chloe still tried to play dumb, tears welling up in her eyes. "Bobby darling, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Did Eleanor say something to you?" "Ah!" Robert grabbed Chloe by the neck, his eyes red and wild, and roared, how could you do that to Eleanor? You knew she had claustrophobia, you deliberately pulled the breaker, you set a dog on her, you stole her artwork." Chloe's face turned red. She struggled against Robert, her voice spitting out maliciously, You know everything, do you?" Robert threw her to the ground like a rag doll. Chloe gasped for air, laughing wildly, "Ha ha ha, Robert, don't forget, you were the one who told me Eleanor had claustrophobia, and you were the one who locked Eleanor in the bathroom." "Yes, I did have someone release the dog, but what did you do? You pushed her out at the critical moment." Robert's heart felt like it was being torn apart, sliced into 1,000 pieces. He trembled. "Shut up." His heart was in chaos. "I didn't. You forced me, you." Even now, he was shifting blame. He couldn't believe he was the one who pushed away the person who loved him, while the person he had always trusted was vicious/heartless. Chloe laughed, tears streaming down her face, her voice hoarse. "Did I force you to take the artwork? Did I make you hurt her? Robert, you're the one who wronged her, not me." With a loud crash, a storm raged outside. Robert's usually straight back bent for a moment. It was him. He was the one who hurt Eleanor. He abandoned Eleanor during the prenatal checkup, causing her miscarriage. He locked Eleanor in the bathroom. Thinking of the awful things he had done, Robert's heart felt like it was bleeding. He punched the nearby wall, blood gushing from his hand. "Get out! Don't let me see you again." Robert searched for Eleanor for a whole month, but she had vanished as if into thin air. Until one day, he received a freshly printed divorce certificate with his and Eleanor's names clearly written on it. "No, impossible, this can't be, when did I?" He was struck as if by lightning, stunned for a while before he remembered the contract Eleanor had asked him to sign earlier was a divorce certificate. Robert's face turned pale. It was him. He had signed it himself, personally agreed to the divorce, allowing Eleanor to escape from him. Unable to find Eleanor, Robert drank heavily every day, his beard messy, his eyes dark and sunken. Chloe, who had once been arrogant, cried and begged him, "What's the point of still thinking about her? She's divorced you, she doesn't love you anymore." Robert pushed her hand away, his eyes red-rimmed, mumbling, "No, she wouldn't. She loves me so much, as long as I apologize to her, she'll come back to me." Chloe sobbed, a flash of resentment in her eyes. "Eleanor, I will never let you get away with this. After going abroad, I got a good offer based on one of my old paintings and successfully became a behind-the-scenes designer. 2 years later, when the company was expanding into the domestic market, I returned to the country with my assistant." Robert walked towards me, holding 100 roses, his voice filled with deep affection. "Eleanor, do you know how much I've missed you?" After 2 years, he had lost a lot of weight and looked haggard. My colleagues, unaware, thought he was an obsessed admirer. "Eleanor, I've thought it through. I truly love you. I didn't know about the miscarriage. I was wrong. I won't have anything to do with Chloe anymore. Will you remarry me?" I laughed mockingly. "So you want to make me a cuckold again?" My colleagues' eyes changed instantly, and they started whispering. Robert's face darkened immediately. "Don't be like this, Eleanor." He choked up, his voice full of reluctance to let me go, his eyes even turning red. "Most of the past 2 years, life without you has been really hard. Nobody ties my tie for me every mo. Ring, nobody reminds me of important meetings, and nobody makes me hangover soup when I'm drunk. I really need you." I could see the regret in his eyes. I shook my head. Robert, what you lack isn't a wife. It's a personal assistant who won't question your ambiguous relationships and a housekeeper who will care for him and manage the household without complaint. You never needed me. I pulled his hand away and threw the roses into the trash can, feeling relieved. Robert's voice was hoarse. No, Eleanor, it's not like that. He began to explain that at first, he just felt sorry for Chloe because she was a woman having a hard time, but later he found Chloe more vibrant and interesting than the rigid and boring me. So, he started seeking excitement in this so-called best friendship. But the moment he discovered Chloe had lied to him, they had a fierce fight. It was then that Robert realized he had lost that purest, most genuine feeling. His eyes were moist. Eleanor, do you remember? Whenever I went on a business trip, you always liked eating beef and noodle soup from this place. I would always pack it back for you. I looked up. The familiar sign came into view. I couldn't remember which winter it was snowing outside, and Robert took me to a small diner to eat beef and noodle soup. I was a picky eater and didn't like cilantro, but I liked the taste of cilantro in the noodles. Robert patiently picked out the cilantro for me. The snow fell heavily, landing on his eyelashes. Gone in an instant. Just like our relationship, broken beyond repair. Robert, we're not kids anymore. In this marriage, you were the one at fault, the betrayer, the deceiver. Don't try to use good memories to gloss over your current mistakes. He was practically sobbing. Why can't you forgive me? Why can't you just give me another chance? I spoke calmly and sharply, then who can give our unborn child another chance? At just that look, he fell apart. ND fled in a panic. However, at that moment, a group of reporters carrying cameras and equipment crowded around me. They asked pointedly, as a copycat, aren't you ashamed to brazenly incorporate a newcomer's artwork into your comic elements? I heard Ms. Eleanor once won first prize in a national painting competition. How is it that now you can only rely on extracting inspiration from others' work? My pupils constricted, and my face turned pale. My colleagues realized the news had exploded online. The entire internet was saying our comic company had plagiarized newcomer artist Chloe's new work, Unyielding Trumpet Vine. Only I saw that her new work clearly bore the mark of my Rose Maiden. One entertainment reporter even deliberately made things difficult. May I ask which artist's work you plan to plagiarize for your next piece? The entire room erupted in laughter. I wanted to defend myself. The client's manager who had come to pick us up looked very displeased and left immediately. I think your company lacks sincerity and cooperation. Although my leader believed in me, he couldn't resist the board's decision and issued an ultimatum. Eleanor, I know your ability, but the power of online opinion is immense. My colleagues rushed to comfort me. Eleanor, they don't believe you, but we do. But that night, watching the online trolls uniformly attacking me on Instagram, my knuckles turned white. Copycat dares to come back to cash in. Does she really think everyone's an idiot? She clearly used material from the new artist's work in the digital art. Support Chloe! Chloe said the painting expresses her thoughts for her deceased loved one. Certain copycat bitch won't say it's a common trope again, right? Heh. I never imagined Chloe had not only stole her artwork but also my concept. Just then, Robert sent me a message. Eleanor, I saw what's happening online. Chloe is about to attend the awards ceremony. I'll report her to the committee. Reporting her could only bring the matter to a temporary halt. It wouldn't completely clear my name. What I wanted was for her to return everything she had stolen. I sent Robert a message. Do you really want to help me? Of course. The day before the awards ceremony, Chloe smugly sent me a message. Eleanor, so what if the painting is yours? Aren't I the one getting the award now? I casually replied, do you really think you can get this award? Chloe immediately flew into a rage. Eleanor, what are you trying to do? It's a done deal. I'm getting this award. Don't even dream of ruining my awards ceremony. Don't try to trick me. You have no evidence to prove I copied you. I'm in demand by major comic companies now. What do you think you are? Speak! Eleanor, what are you up to? I looked at it, smiled, took a screenshot, and sent it back. I didn't have any, but now I do. Chloe was furious. She even called me directly, Eleanor, do you think you can steal Bobby and still steal my trophy? You're dreaming. You're already divorced. I'm the most important person in Bobby's heart. I listened to her words with interest. I said nonchalantly, you say you're the most important person to Robert? Then why haven't you ended up together after I divorced him? Or maybe he just sees you as a free piece? I heard something shatter on the other end of the line. Chloe screamed frantically. I hung up the phone. Since Chloe wanted to attend the awards ceremony, let her. It wasn't hers, she wouldn't be able to keep it anyway. On the day of the awards ceremony, Robert also participated as a judge and even invested an additional $1 million, turning the originally small award ceremony into a widely watched live stream event. And I was among the audience seats. The live stream's chat stream instantly exploded, mindlessly praising the Meng Corporation CEO's ostentatious love for Chloe, while attacking me, the copycat, for having the nerve to attend the ceremony. Chloe's mouth stretched into a wide grin. She happily showed off to me, Eleanor, jealous? Where there's money, there's love. The only person Bobby loves is me. She tossed her newly done hair. Did you see what the live stream fans are saying? Bobby and I have a perfect romance. I curved my lips. Hope you can still smile later. Just be jealous, Eleanor. Chloe arrogantly lifted her chin, pulling her dress as she walked onto the stage to accept the award. The audience applauded thunderously. She looked proud and triumphant. It is a great honor to receive this award. Although during the creative process, I encountered some vain little thieves who tried to steal my work, my creative soul is something they can never steal. She spoke with intention, and the flashing lights obediently focused on my face. The chat stream online cursing me scrolled furiously. But in the next second, an audio recording suddenly played on the main hall screen. It's true that Rose Maiden was painted by Eleanor? But what does that matter? It's mine now, isn't it? Even Bobby is mine. Then why don't you paint it yourself? Stop it, Bobby, you know I know nothing about painting. Those artworks were all traced by someone I hired. Thanks to that bitch Eleanor for painting this, otherwise how could I step on her to get ahead? Chloe's face instantly turned pale. She screamed for the staff to take down the audio. But the event was large scale. Chloe had invited many media outlets to witness it to build up her image. The news reporters now swarmed like sharks smelling blood. No, it's not what you think. It's slander, that recording must be fake. Chloe's expression was twisted. It must be you, right? Eleanor, you did this, didn't you? She lunged at me, wanting to tear at me, her eyes red. Eleanor, say something. It was you, wasn't it? I smiled calmly. It was Robert. It was your perfect romance. Chloe completely broke down. She angrily grabbed my neck. You bitch, I'll kill you. Robert shoved her away. He stood in front of me, looking at her coldly. Are you done causing a scene? Chloe covered her forehead, which was bleeding from the fall. She looked up in disbelief, her voice hoarse. Why? Robert said indifferently, you brought it on yourself. Chloe's face was blank, devoid of color. Reporters who had captured the scene surrounded her. Even the live stream's chat stream instantly turned against her. So Chloe is the copycat. I also found out she was a mistress during Robert and Eleanor's marriage. How disgusting. The truth is out, right? I knew Eleanor didn't look like that kind of person. Thief crying stop thief, so shameless. In the chaos, I walked onto the stage and declared loudly, may originality forever be glorious. Below the stage, Robert trembled, trying to pull a ring from his pocket. Eleanor, As he spoke, a sharp pain struck him from behind. He turned around. The knife in Chloe's hand was plunged into his back. Her eyes were filled with hatred, red and wild. Robert, die. She stabbed him over a dozen more times. Blood gushed out. The scene was filled with screams. By the time the police arrived and grabbed her, Robert had collapsed in a pool of blood. Just before he died, he desperately reached out, trying to grasp my clothes. Eleanor, can you forgive me? I stopped walking. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. You gave me that recording and played it at the ceremony. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to turn the situation around on my own. But I cannot forgive you. Hearing my words, Robert coughed up a mouthful of blood. Doctors desperately tried to save him. It's over, the patient has no heartbeat. At Robert's funeral, his personal assistant presented a document. Mr. Meng always felt deeply sorry about your miscarriage. He had already made a will, stating he wished to leave all his assets to you. Now that Mr. Meng has passed away, I should hand these over to you. As I walked out, a group of reporters thrust microphones at me. In front of the cameras, I wiped away tears from the corner of my eyes. I am deeply saddened by the death of my ex-husband. Everyone praised my deep affection for my ex-husband, saying I still loved him even though he had cheated and done everything to wrong me. But in a place the cameras couldn't see, I curved my lips. There was no knife at the awards ceremony. The knife was something Chloe accidentally dropped when she was grabbing my neck. I went back to the small diner Robert and I used to frequent and sat at our usual table. Years ago, Robert said, "Eleanor, you like this place. When we're old, we'll use canes and still come here to eat, okay?" But later, he got tired of this place, and he got tired of me. I lowered my eyes. The steaming heat from the bowl misted my eyes, making them feel warm. From primordial chaos, duality emerges, hate, the extreme of love. Robert, I am truly grateful to you. You boosted my career to new heights and left me all your assets.